Okay, today I wanted to do a quick video on kind of a lesson learned as we were putting this rear end together. We had all the parts and everything except for the brake drums ready to put together, and had the axle about half assembled, ready to go. And when I got the new brake drums that I had ordered, I realized they were not the right size. So I started doing some research and found out a few things that I was unaware of, that they're on these GM 12-bolt truck axles. There was two different models, and I believe the larger one started in about 1979, somewhere around there, if I remember right from the reading I was doing. And it has bigger brakes on it, and you can kind of see that. There's the brake pads for the larger one, and there's the pads for the smaller one, if you can see that in the camera there. This one here is a 2-inch wide brake pad. This one here is 2 3/4, and there's a few other differences that go along with it that I found. The original axle that we had pulled out of a 1969 GMC and we're going to use in this build that we're doing has the smaller brakes, the smaller brake pads, and it had the smaller backing plates. This is the backing plate that I had. It's been painted up and ready to go. I actually had it on the axle. When I got the new drums and realized what the differences were and started doing a little bit of research, I kind of realized that I think I'd rather go that direction with the larger brakes. And so I started scrounging some more parts to see if I had everything that I needed to do that. And along the way I come across a few differences. One is the backing plates. This is the backing plate off of the later model that takes the larger brakes. This is the backing plate we got off of the 69 that uses the thinner brake pads, the narrower brake pads. So I had another axle laying around. We went and scrounged the backing plates off of that. The main difference in these, get the camera here to cooperate, is when you look at them this way, you'll see that this piece sticks out further or is indented, so that the edge of your backing plate actually sits back on the axle a little bit further, which allows you to use the wider brakes. And it still takes the same length of axle. The axle shafts are the same. The measurements out to the faces of the axle and your brake drums and all that are the same. It's just the brake drums get wider, so this sits back on the axle a little bit whereas this one is more flush and takes the narrower brakes on that with a smaller drum. And I'll get the drums out and show you a difference between those here in just a minute. But, one of the other differences that I came across was in these pieces here. You can see that one of them is got a little bit more length to it in this area up here. This one's a little bit shorter. This one actually is from the smaller brake set of axles. We've got this one powder coated up and ready to go. Getting this prepped so that we can get it painted up and ready to go as well. I'll go ahead and grab those drums and let you have a look at those. Okay, so these are the two different drums. These are the new drums that I ordered in that take the larger brakes. They're virtually the same size. This one has a inside diameter of like 11 1/8 inches. This one's just right at 11, so the diameter is pretty close to the same, but you have to have the different backing plates and all that. This is much more massive than this one is, and so when I got to looking at them, the differences in that, I kind of wanted to go with a heavier brake. So I kept these drums instead of sending them back and getting the others, and just scrounged the parts to go ahead and make these work. But you can see a difference. There, the width wise, with your 2-inch brakes here and the 2 3/4 inch here. So these are old and worn as well, the old ones that came off of it. But it also looks like that you've got a lot more wear surface on these larger drums as well. Another reason that I kind of like to stick with those. Put the larger brakes on this axle for this truck build that we're doing.